Do you have a drum roll sound?
Not on me, no. No.
Are you recording now?
I mean, I pressed the button, and as soon as I pressed the button, you asked me if I had a drum roll sound.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Hello, hi, hey.
Uh, that's a terrible drum roll sound effect, but what
What's
can you
up,
do?
everybody?
How does this show start again?
I don't know. It's Jaws Breakers, the podcast. I'm METEORDOLL,
No, you're not.
and
Oh, yeah, you are.
that's Breaker Streams.
I'm Bret. Hey, everybody, I'm Bret. Welcome to Jaws Breakers, the scary, funny shark movie show, or something around there. Someday I'll get it right, but today is not that time. And of course, joining me is the aforementioned Jasmine, aka Jarmagargar, aka German, aka Jazzman, aka METEORDOLL. How many more AKs do you need, Jasmine? You could fund an army with all those AKs. You could fully arm an army.
It's like I'm a Meeseeks.
Do you think? Do you think army is? They call it an army because you bear arms, and it's a lot of people with arms. So like, I'm a little army. You know.
I never thought about that before,
Do
but
you
that
think?
sounds accurate.
Do you think
To
it's
be
called?
honest.
Do you think that's why it's also called Armageddon?
You know what? You want me to look it up? I'll look it up.
Sure, you do that while we get into the show. This is a show where every other week we watch a movie on Twitch. We through watch parties through one of our Twitch streams, Twitch channels. Excuse me, either mine or Jazz's. And yeah, we watch it with you guys, and then we talk about it. And that podcast comes out on the off weeks that we're not streaming shark movies. And right now it's shark movies for sure.
Yay!
And we just finished watching a very good shark movie for a change. And it's 47 Meters Down Uncaged, the sequel.
Yes, but also an army gets its name from the Latin arma, which means arms, weapons, which is ground force or land force, is a fighting force that fights primarily on land.
Okay, so Arma. So where did the Y come from to make it army?
Probably just some English people were like, let's put a. Well, no, the French say armier or armed or maybe from armier.
How about Armada? This has nothing to do with the show, sharks, movies, or otherwise. But yeah, we watched 47 Meters Down Uncaged, and what a gem, what a treat. Finally, we got a. This is the first I would say, high quality, big budget shark movie that we've watched.
Yes.
We really started off with, not to be mean, but kind of like on the lower end as far as budget and talent goes. This movie, however, much
Lots
larger
of big
budget.
Stars. Had
No, I wouldn't. No.
It had some pretty famous people.
I recognize zero people from this movie.
Well, that's you.
But
it had a $12 million budget.
Okay, that's nothing for movies generally, but that's a lot for a shark movie. But I just want to say, I recognize nobody from this movie, but that's not to say that they're not talented. The actresses in this movie are on a different level compared to some of the other movies that we watched, for sure.
Yes, and that would include Sistine Stallone, who played Nicole, Sophie
Fucking
Melise.
Nicole!
Yes, fucking Nicole. Mia, who was the main character, the girl that got bullied all the time. Corinne Fox, who played Sasha, which was her sister. Brianne Jew, which played Alexa. We've got John Corbett Grant, who played the dad. He was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is a very popular, famous movie.
I'm sure. I've never seen any of them. And that's pretty much everybody. I mean, there's a couple other ancillary characters that we don't see for very much, but for the most part, it's the four girls, and the dad has somewhat, he gets a little bit more screen time than any of the other ancillary characters. And
there's a couple side people, but...
Yeah, like the mom is there during the breakfast scene, or the mean girls are there, like, at the beginning and at the end, but They don't really.
And
You don't
and the
say
other
much.
scuba divers. There were some other
The other
scuba
scuba
divers.
divers, yeah, but you only see them for moments, really.
Mhm.
So really, it's just the main four girls for the most part, and with a
Yeah.
little bit of dad sprinkled in, and that's the way I like my porn. Anyway,
Anyways, 47
sponsor
meters
us.
down, uncaged.
Spot.
It's a
That's also the name of my porn, Uncaged.
Jesus goodness. OnlyFans
Hey,
coming to you in
I don't
2025.
have an
Right,
OnlyFans,
Gordon?
but if OnlyFans wants to run ads on this show, I'd be happy to do it.
No.
I'd also be happy. What's the big porno site? I'm not helping. I'm not doing myself any favors.
Pornhub?
You know it. Ooh, gross. Yeah, Pornhub.
Ooh, it's
Oh,
like
Pornhub. Come on, give us a little.
gross.
Throw us a
Let's
little
not.
money ball.
Anyways, 47 meters down
Hey,
uncaged.
hold on. Real talk here. Business talk. If Pornhub said, "Hey, if you run some ads for us, we'll advertise for your show on our site," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" Although that would be.
I would disagree with that. That's not our image / message.
Do you know how many people that would reach? I don't know if they're the people we necessarily want. But then again, like everybody watches porn, so there's no shame in it.
We're getting soundtracked. We're like one giant whirlpool, and we need to bring it back around.
Okay. Oh, this is from the person who wanted to go on a lecture tour about the word arm.
47 meters down, uncaged. PG-13.
Tell us about that one character that one time that showed up in the background. And that she was
I named the main characters of this movie, and I wasn't providing any other characters.
Were you or were you not gonna tell us like the mom's name and the bully girl's name?
I literally just had the mom, dad, and the four girls.
All right. So you were gonna say the mom. The mom. I mean, she was there, I guess. She got like 3 lines.
But she's also a famous lady. I just don't remember what movie she was from. But I looked her up, and she is famous. Okay. Anyways. The movie is PG-13, an hour and a half minutes. Yes, it is. I looked it up. PG-13. Wrote it down, big letters. Came out in 2019.
All right, Jazmin, stop. Pause. Your child is 13 years old. Are you gonna let them go see this movie? What's that mean? That means parental guidance, 13 years or I think it's 13 years or younger requires parental guidance. So
I wouldn't take my child, but if I'm the cool aunt, I would take somebody else's. Because I'm the cool aunt.
That's weird.
I'm the cool aunt. I take them to cool. I take them to cool.
Monkey see, but monkey don't do. Monkey or do as I say, not as I do, is what I meant to say.
I mean, if my kids were really into sharks, maybe yeah.
At 13, I mean, I think this kind of.
I don't think this is a 13 movie, but I mean.
Well, I mean, they don't cuss. There's no sex. There's no nudity.
Yeah.
The girls aren't overly sexualized, which I appreciate. I mean, they're very attractive and they're in bikinis throughout the majority of the movie, but that's because they're literally in a tropical location in scuba diving.
But I mean, there is, it shows the bad side of sharks, which is just massacring people.
That's every shark movie that exists.
Unfortunately. But
I'm just talking about from a violence and gore perspective. Would I let the kid watch it? I honestly don't know. I'm never gonna have kids, so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm glad I know what you're gonna do now to Savannah's children.
If Savannah has kids. Anyways, I'm gonna give them the typical ratings here. 5 out of 10 on IMDb, 45% Rotten Tomatoes, and 76% of the Google users like this movie. I understand the 76%. That's hard to me. I don't really get the 45% and the 5 out of 10. I think this is a good movie. Critics
are a lot harder on movies than general public are.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah. This movie was directed by Johannes Roberts, who also Johan, who also did the first movie. He's also known for Resident Evil, which I didn't know. Did you know that?
Oh God, Jazmin, I forgot you were back there. Holy shit! Hey, are you sneaking up on me for, Jazmin? What are you doing? YouTube watchers will notice that there is a dummy of Jazmin sitting in a chair directly behind me. Jazmin, do you care to explain what that's for?
I guess I got sick for a good couple weeks, and we weren't supposed to watch Uncaged together. until I got better, and Bret was going to use that in my place.
I was gonna stream it from my home by myself, but it didn't feel right not having you here, so I made a you, and I hope to God no one no one's in or out of my house, but if they happen to look through a window, they might see this weird dummy of a person of my sister and be like,
They might not know that. Yeah.
It'd be real weird if
It
anybody
would
sees.
be.
There's been more than a few. I've left it up for a few days now, and
has anyone noticed?
No, I've not had anybody over. What?
Oh, I was thinking streaming wise.
I don't stream from the computer. I stream from the couch. But like on more than a few occasions, I have walked through this room and jumped. Yeah, I forget it's in here, and I see it's
my beautiful face. Isn't that scary?
It's like dark, and like they see the silhouette, and I jump because I think it's somebody sitting there. So I eventually had to just shut the door, so I didn't walk in here. But I didn't want to let it go to waste. Can't let it go to waste. It's gonna stay there for a while. You can do it
next time. Hopefully, there isn't a next time when I'm sick. But
yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, you were talking about the director.
Johan, the director.
Blah blah. So yeah, this movie.
Well, I was gonna.
What?
I was gonna add another movie.
Add another movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
He also did The Strangers, which is also a very good movie. It's very scary. I couldn't watch it.
Movie.
I hate that movie too.
But I don't hate it because it's bad. I don't hate it because it's bad because I don't think The Strangers is a bad movie at all. No. I hate it because it makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable and scary. I can't watch it. It reminds me of The Descent, which this movie Uncaged reminds me a lot of the movie Descent.
I don't know how, but the first one totally should.
4 girls go into an uncharted cave.
Okay.
And meet blind monster people.
Okay, all right. I thought you meant like the crazy psychological aspect of The Descent, which was something that was more explored in 47 Meters Down, the first one. They didn't do it in the second one. I wish they would have, but I'm sure we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say that unlike the critics, I would also be in favor of this movie. I liked it a lot.
I like this movie.
You gotta understand, like critics are looking through a movie through the lens of movie as a whole, right? Like if they were judging movies at the Oscars or whatever, like they have to judge it as thus. Like, is this movie gonna hold a candle to, I don't know, Titanic? I would love this movie more than I love this movie more than Titanic. But is it going? Can I admit that Titanic's probably a more culturally impactful movie that probably deserves an award or two? Yeah, probably. But that's where the critics are kind of coming at with it.
Yeah.
Now, if the critics were in the box of the only thing I'm a critic of is shark movies or horror movies in general, I think the score would reflect that a lot better.
I mean, 76% of Google users like this.
Well, that's because they're thinking of this movie as what this movie's supposed to be, generally speaking. I think, anyway. Right. But I will say, like, I like this movie a lot, but I do not like it nearly as much as the first one, which I think is the gold standard for horror and shark
agree
movies.
With you.
We're not going to talk a lot about 47 Meters Down because hopefully someday we'll be able to stream it. It's not on Amazon Prime, so we can't, or at least it's not available for watch parties, so we can't stream it as of yet. But someday, I'm hoping. But yeah, I like the second one a lot.
We're waiting to watch the first one with everybody.
All right, Jazmin. Let's fast forward a little bit for the sake of time. Do you want to talk about like the plot? Because I know you usually like to give like an overview over everything that happens, or at least the major beats.
Okay, so the movie takes place in Mexico, and you see a bullied girl who gets wrangled in by her stepsister and her friends, and they go and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go check out this cool water hole that my dad found out about, and we're gonna go. We're gonna swim."
No, he's like an archaeologist that specializes in like.
Okay, fine. One of the divers brought the Alexa girl, and she's like, "Let's go! It's so pretty."
Okay, wow, you were really like just zooming through it. Okay, first off, hang on a second. First off, it's clear that this family is fairly new around each other. Like, it's a new marriage. Both parents have brought a daughter in, so they have steps, and they don't like hate each other or anything like that. But they clearly run in different circles. One's the nerd, but clearly she's like Hollywood hot, but they just put glasses on her to make her.
And some overalls.
Yeah, they literally put overalls on her, and that's a huge eye roll for me because, I mean, if you want to get a plain looking person to convey the fact that she's kind of a nerd and she's not popular, plain looking people exist, and that's not a knock on plain people. I mean, like, don't go out and get a Hollywood beautiful woman and then put glasses on, because that also degrades people that wear glasses.
She didn't.
It's implying that glasses aren't.
She doesn't wear glasses. She doesn't wear glasses.
She did. Yes, she did.
When?
At the beginning, I'm pretty sure.
No, she didn't.
Yes.
No, she didn't.
I bet you. Anyway, besides the point, they did that, and then of course, the bullies are mean, and the stepsister decides, is like, hey, let's play hooky, and we'll skip school with my friends. They all go to Alexi's spot, which is this beautiful like lagoon in the middle of the jungle. And it turns out this is her father's work site. And one of his assistants took Alexi during his off time. Alexa to the work site and showed her around inside the cave that they were working. Because what it is the ruins. They don't specify, I don't think, what kind of ruins they are, but there's some kind
Mayan.
Do they say Mayan?
They do. They say
Okay.
Mayan.
Some Mayan ruins somewhere in Central America.
Mexico.
Do they specifically say Mexico? Because I couldn't find that either.
It's in Mexico.
Okay. So underwater, it's Mayan ruins that have since flooded. These caves have flooded, and they're working in the caves, doing archaeology.
In the cave system.
Doing the archaeology stuff. And the girls decide, hey, we're just going to go inside the cave where that guy showed me around. We'll just do a quick lap inside the main chamber, and then we'll come back out. No harm, no foul.
They got this decked out scuba gear, the full face mask with crazy comm systems, and they put on some wetsuits. Some of them put on wetsuits, and some of them don't. And then
excellent comms in those wetsuits, I might add. Were they all in wetsuits? I can't remember.
Nicole was maybe in like a top, because I remember she had her like white bikini bottoms on.
Let's see. You can fill some time while I look up.
But I did some research, and some of the criticism that came with this particular part of the movie is that divers could not believe that they did not bring flippers. Apparently, flippers are a huge ordeal.
Oh yeah.
That swimming without flippers would be like incredibly hard.
100%. I noticed that as well.
Be really, really slow. And
but
so
also, if you are literally just going down into the lagoon and into an opening that puts up into a chamber like that, I can understand, maybe not wearing them if you're just going in and out and popping up real quick. But I want to say something. In screenshots of various scenes of the movie, all four girls are wearing wetsuits, except for the bottoms. Like, they're not wearing the bottoms, but they have like the upper body part of the wetsuits.
I thought the main two girls had the full on wetsuits though.
According to the pictures I'm looking at, it's at least two of the girls don't have the bottoms on. But in any case, props to this movie. They didn't give us like scantily clad hot girls the whole movie. I know I said that they were in bikinis the whole movie, but I misremembered. Wow, shame on me.
Yeah, they put on scuba gear. That's real.
Good job on this movie for not over sexualizing the women, the female cast.
Well, they picked 4 women, and 2 of them are supposed to be like the strong leads, so I could understand why they didn't do that.
Well, one is like the nerd,
Well, and her stepsister.
Her stepsister is supposed to be like the strong, hard-headed type.
But so they go down into the cave system to explore, and you see all these like Mayan people statues, and they talk about how it's like a burial site for all their dead. Like it's like a memorial / burial site for the Mayans. And
that was another thing. Did we look up if Mayans actually make full size people statues? Is that part of their culture?
I did some research, and do not look it up because I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually legitimately wondered that while I was watching that. I was like, is this accurate to their actual culture? Because it seems something more in line with like, ancient China, where they literally made the terracotta soldiers and stuff like that. Because that's kind of what they reminded me of.
In terms of like, while I did my research, in terms of like the how big the site is and how much water there was.
Yeah.
They said that in that specific scenario, it's not likely. But yes, they explore, and Nicole decides she's gonna go off and explore a little because she saw something moving.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it.
Stillness,
I was there.
The stillness of the water.
I was there every time we've watched it. We've watched that movie like a couple of times now, and we've done it all together.
Stillness in the water. Nothing going on. The sounds in this movie sound like terrifying. Because it literally sounds like you're in water, and it's like absolute nothingness for most of the movie, which is super eerie. And so Nicole goes off, and because she sees something, everyone's like, Nicole, where are you, Nicole? And that lady looks at a fish and finds a fish. A blind
tetra.
Fish. A blind fish.
A tetra.
And the tetra, she goes to like boop it or something, and it gets too close, and she scares it, which in fact scares them. She puts her big butt into a pillar, and the place starts crumbling down.
Yeah. And I want you to remember that fish for later.
And I want you to remember that fish for later.
I want you to remember that fish for later.
But
I don't want to go into the minutia of the entire movie.
That's where the movie starts.
Yes, they're trapped inside this underwater cave system with oxygen that's, they don't have unlimited oxygen. They occasionally find these crevices that have air pockets so that they can breathe in those occasionally. And occasionally they bump into some of the assistants and even Dad over the course of the movie trying to get out of the cave system. And as they're doing this, they're encountering the big bads, the sharks, as the big blind cave sharks, as it were.
They actually say they're white. They're great whites.
They sure do.
So they're blind great whites, and it's basically them battling it out, trying to not drown and not get eaten by sharks. And there's another scene where they figure out that the shark is sensitive to sound. They encounter this giant whirlpool, or not whirlpool, but like ocean current. And real sad part of this movie, and you actually pointed out while we were watching it, the after Nicole dies, Nicole dies because she sucks. Do you remember? They actually make it out from underneath the water, and they start to climb up to the top, but Nicole panics because she sees sharks underneath her, and he starts trying to climb, and she ruins the only way out, falls into the water because she just left everybody else to die. She gets torn into pieces. So with nowhere to go, the dad, I'm missing a lot of things here.
That's fine. We don't need to hit every single moment.
Dad dies after Nicole. Dad dies after Nicole. He just gets eaten right.
By the way, Nicole gets torn to pieces.
That's what I said. Are you listening?
No, I'm not, because I'm also working at the same time. But also, I want to mention, never mind. Blowing by it. Just I got something for you for later. I got something for you for later.
We're going through it. We're going through it. And so Nicole dies. The dad dies. They have to go back under the water because what else can they do? They use the frequency from this alarm, and they make it back under until they get to this giant whirlpool, which they lose. Her name was Sasha, the stepsister. They lose her, the Asian girl, and the main character Mia. They're fighting their way and take it to a tunnel, and her oxygen tank gets eaten by a shark, and she's struggling, and it's quite frankly one of the saddest parts of the movie. And she takes off her mask and gear, trying to get away, and you literally watch her drown. Super sad.
Yeah. Very sad. We had this worst part of the movie, and not because it was bad, but because it was the most terrifying, saddest.
And we had the debate of, would it be worse if you got eaten by a shark or drowning?
Blow by it. We'll save it for later.
Okay. Well, apparently we got a lot of new stuff happening today. And
I don't think it's new. I just think there's a spot for it.
And then Mia's all alone, but surprise! The sister Sasha is alive in the whirlpool. They make it out, and then they start getting, attacked by another shark. They go through this like really tiny crevice. Like, you ever played Tomb Raider, like the newer ones? You're coming up and you're trying to crawl through like a tiny cave entrance. They're crawling through one of those, and then they escape the sharks, the blind sharks, and they're in open water. What happens next, right?
You asking me?
Yes.
I wasn't listening.
What happens after they finally get out of this crevice and into open water? They escape the blind sharks. What happens? We got Sasha and Mia. They're the only ones left. They ditched the scuba gear. All their friends have died, and and most of their family.
They go out in the open water and they see a boat. Like, the cliffs are too sheer. They can't just go to the shore because it's literally cliffs. But they do see a boat and they start swimming for it because they're too far away. There's no way that they're going to be able to hear them screaming. But unfortunately, it's a Shark Tour boat that has an observation deck below the surface of the water, and the crew is, the boat's very cool, but then the crew is chumming the water to bring in great whites for the enjoyment of the people.
And this is actually where the whole movie comes kind of full circle, because those girls were supposed to be on that boat. And they ended up finding the boat, and that's where the two girls started getting like legit eaten by sharks. Though they didn't actually get eaten, they got bit a couple times, and Mia's like, oh, hell no. When her sister got, started getting dragged into the water, she jumps in with a flare gun and like shoots it in the face. Sasha gets out, but she's still in. The shark grabs her. She's got, what is it, a knife? Or no, she finds a shark tooth, an old shark tooth on the shark.
It's
and
the one
it in the eye.
It's the one that her dad gave her at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she stabs it in the eye, and then she gets out, and once it get out onto the boat, no one's offering any type of like medical aid, and they're just hugging each other and bleeding practically to death.
Yeah.
They're just destroyed. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings because up until this point, this is my least favorite part of the movie, I believe. When
the first movie was so good, the ending.
But I'm saying the reason why, standing alone, disregarding the first movie entirely, the thing I don't like about this movie is when she grabs the flare gun, jumps back into the ocean, and manages to shoot the shark. Okay, so when you screamed really loud right now, your mic cut out, and I heard nothing. Yeah, it's still doing it. I wish you'd stop, actually. It's bad content. Bad content, Jasmine, bad.
Sorry, I was just trying to imitate Mia because she's screaming under the water with this flare gun trying to be a badass.
Your mic's not good enough for that, I don't think. Watch this. Ah! Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, did I sound like Steve from Dead by Daylight? Ah! Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, do me his impression then.
No, I don't know, man. But it was kind of dumb. Like, if we were in the jaws of a shark in the ocean, I'm not going to be able to grab a flare gun, jump into the water, and then somehow shoot that shark in the face to get it to release you.
Well, no,
It's
she didn't. She shot it at a shark that had Sasha, not her.
What are you talking about? That's what I said.
No, you said herself. Like Mia, we were talking like Mia shot the shark with a flare gun while it was biting her. That's what it sounded.
No, it was biting her sister, and she saved her by shooting it. That's what I said.
No, you made it sound.
No, it's not my fault. You can't understand the words that come out of fucking my mouth.
English.
Like, it's stupid. That would never happen in a million years, and it's completely unbelievable. Disregarding the fact that there's fictitious blind sharks in this movie, which is not a horrible stretch necessarily, but that was just a little bit too much for me to believe. It's not an action movie. I don't want an action movie. I want a horror movie. And that was just silly. I think horror movies sometimes need to have bittersweet endings to the point where they're even quote unquote bad endings, like things like The Descent. The first 47 meters down is horrifying, a horrifying ending. It is not a happy ending at all. I wish this movie would have ended with they're both safe on the boat, and then, oh, just kidding, they're actually still in the water column where the rushing water, and they're trapped in the crevasse, and they're both just kind of insane and lost their mind, which is basically ripping off the first movie. Well, staying with the spirit of the first movie and The Descent. I think that would have been better, honestly. That would have been a huge kick in the pants. But they both survived, and
yeah, but they didn't want to. I can see why they didn't do that. They didn't want to replicate.
I did not get the twist ending that I expected to get from it. I expected it to keep something of 47 meters down the first movie, and I didn't really get that. It didn't have a lot in common aside from sharks, and 99% of the time they were a different kind of shark for the most part, and then beautiful young women in a tropical location, and that was that, honestly. And Jasmine's gone. She's so disgusted with my opinions that she.
My dogs are play fighting and making some noises. I don't want to get picked up.
Oh, I actually couldn't hear them.
Well, I kind of liked the ending. Yeah, it wasn't like super crazy or super great, but I liked the fact that the two stepsisters who kind of didn't really get along in the beginning, did what they could to like save each other, and they got through this hardship and they're alive. I like that part.
All right, Jasmine. So let's give this bad boy the rating treatment.
Okay, how many fins?
Fins? Are we doing fins now?
Wasn't it always fins? What did we do last time?
That's it. I got the eye roll meter, kill count, which I've renamed brutality, cheese factory, and based off of that, we come up with an overall shark rating. And I guess it's fins. I don't remember. So first off, the eye roll meters. How corny something is, or tropes. This is generally a negative thing, like, for instance, shooting a shark with the flare gun underwater made my eyes roll. I'm
gonna give it a 0 on the eye roll department because I mean, yes, there were some issues scientifically, but they weren't something that bothered me.
No, you have to scientifically. You have to suspend some disbelief. You have to. I don't have an issue with that.
I don't really want to give him an eye roll because I eye roll the whole time.
It gets one for me for the dumb flare gun scene, because that would never happen in a million years. Even just suspending disbelief never happened in a million years.
That's fine.
Nicole being scared by a fish and causing the cave in isn't necessarily an eye roll. But the fish screaming was a major eye roll for me. The fish literally went, ah!
Which is hilarious.
Which is very funny, but also very eye rolly. Like, Why? It's supposed to be like a jump scare for the audience too, but it's just
It did
it's
jump
so
scare
bad.
me. It did jump scare me.
Fish
I
don't
will admit.
scream, not underwater. Also, I feel like this isn't so much of an eye roll necessarily. Like it's close, maybe a half. But these underwater archaeologists are doing an awful lot of fucking welding, and I'm not really sure why. A lot of welding was happening underwater, and I can't for the life of me figure out why.
Lighting systems?
In this, you wouldn't need to weld for that.
Nice.
You would not know.
welder.
Like what they would do is they would literally be down there with like rovers and stuff like that, which we did see one of those in the movie. You'd be down there with rovers and cameras and this and that, and you'd be like measuring things and taking pictures of things, taking samples, things of that nature. But generally speaking, you're not really altering anything in the cave. They have like underwater. They have ruins like that in Central America that are underwater, and they're just there. Like they'll put cameras down in there, and they'll see like there's human bones and stuff down there that are just undisturbed. Like they don't do a lot of altering of it probably for fear of destroying it more or impacting the environment, but because they're basically like time capsules to a degree. But these guys were just welding up a storm, and I still can't figure out exactly why. But man, that's a hell of an underwater radio that guy's got. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so 2.5, I guess, out of me. And you got a 0, so we'll round that down to 1 and a. I'm not gonna say 1 1/4. A 1. I think a 1 is good.
1 out of 5 fins.
1 out of 5 for the eye rolls. I think that's fair. This movie gets a lot of credit for not over sexualizing its hot young ladies, actresses, excuse me. It gives a lot of credit for great effects. Not once did I see a shark and think, "Oh, that's a computer." The effects were fantastic. The acting spectacular. There's no acting moment where I was like, "Oh God, that was terrible." Like they were all good.
I agree.
Brutality, Jazmin. Quality kills. Quality and quantity of kills.
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
So that's a moderate.
Yeah, I think it had a pretty good amount. I think it had a good balance of shark murder and just intensity about being in an underwater cave and lost. I thought it had a good balance.
Considering 3 of the 5, I would argue there's 5 main characters, the 4 girls and the dad. I would call those the main characters of the film. I would say the 4 girls are the main characters, but the dad gets enough screen time that I think he counts, right? Like at least a little bit. And 3 out of the 5 of those, dead as hell. 2 of the supporting actors, the assistants, super dead. And then the only other people of note are the 2 surviving sisters, the mom who is in one breakfast scene, and that's it, and the bully who is in 2 scenes. And
at the beginning and end of the movie.
Yeah, and not very much. Like she's
but she didn't. Nothing happened to her or the mom.
Right. So. She was just there. She was just kind of there and snickering behind their backs or whatever. Like she didn't really have. Yeah. She might have had a line or 2 at the very beginning, but she didn't even say anything in the second one. She was just kind of there bearing witness to everything that was happening.
True.
But she was definitely like the focal point of like a bully girl, kind of mean girl type thing. This movie killed off most of its cast, and it did so in very horrific ways. I mean, naturally, getting eaten by a shark is really bad. Generally, Nicole got crunched by one. Then while she was getting dragged to the bottom by that one, another one came up from the opposite direction, snatched to the other side of her body. They twisted around each other and ripped her in half. Dad's like, the sharks are gone. They did the Deep Blue Sea thing, like where they did with Samuel L. Jackson. He's like, the sharks are gone. The sharks are gone now. Okay, yada, yada. False sense of security. He's toast. Yeah, he's out of there. And then, what's her name? Help me. Alexa drowns horrifically. Like we have to look into her eyes as she drowns.
That was some great acting.
Very much so. And honestly, I don't blame her. Like she had a choice. She was either going to get eaten by a shark or drown, and she chose to drown. And I can't even blame her. And then who else was it? Oh, the one assistant got brutalized. Like I think it was the welding guy that was listening to the music.
No, I think it kind of.
No, it brutalized him because it was dragging him through the water while he was screaming. It was only for a moment.
Yeah.
It was only for a moment, but it was pretty violent.
Both of those dudes, the assistants, had a moment. It wasn't that long, but it was still both of them.
The first guy died real quick. It was a really quick and he was done. He was done for. So that's the one that but I kind of understand like the pacing of that one. Like it was supposed to be that way. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
I mean, I think that there's just a good mix of shark death, like actual sharks eating them, and
you said 3.5. I said 5. The average of that is like
math
4.25, I think. So we'll just round down and say 4.
I don't do math, so I don't know. So
4 out of 5 is what it's getting for me. Not because it has the most deaths, but because of the quality.
They were quality deaths, though. They were good.
Cheese Factory. So what the Cheese Factory is and how that differs from eye rolling is Cheese Factory is not necessarily a bad thing. A Cheese Factory is a movie knows it's cheesy and doing something like very cheesy on purpose. Yeah, like a shark pun or like references to like other famous shark movies, like House Shark said you're going to need a bigger house, which is a very clear reference to Jaws, the most famous of shark movies. So like cheese factor usually means something bad, but it's in a way that redeems the movie to a degree. Like House Shark is 100%. I can't shut up about it. It's the best kind of cheese. It's so delicious. I want some more cheese. Ice Sharks, the bad kind of cheese. Nothing's believable. It's not entertaining. The cheese has gone bad. It's moldy. It's gross. Don't put it in my mouth. I don't want it. So Jazmin, so this one's really subjective. Like more cheesiness, better, bad cheese, less cheesiness, good.
I don't know if it's because I don't know as much about like shark movies and stuff like that. I didn't really think it was cheesy. I just thought it was a good thriller shark movie, and that's all I keep coming to my mind because I don't typically pick up on the small shark puns or shark references that you do. So for me, I don't really think it was cheesy.
Well, that's going to be a 0 out of 5 from both of us then, because this movie is not cheesy. Like like we said earlier, the acting's great, the practical effects are great, the digital effects are great. Everything about it I liked. I didn't find like I might have rolled my eyes a couple times.
You can nitpick.
Like, the fish scream, maybe you can argue that's cheesy, but we kind of already covered that in eye rolling, and obviously the flare gun thing is something I didn't like, but I wouldn't say the flare gun thing was cheesy.
Yeah, that's just nitpicking at the movie.
Cheese. It's not nitpicking. That's just my opinion about those scenes. Yeah, so 0 out of 5. Great. Overall shark rating, Jazmin.
What is it?
Well, in this scenario, the cheese rating, 0 out of 5 is good. So we'll just eliminate that from the final rating.
Bye.
Now, like on a movie like House Shark, where the enjoyment of it is 100% based on how much cheese, it would definitely go in.
I understand.
Again, I said this is subjective. And the same thing, eye rolls, 1 out of 5. Eye rolls is a bad thing, so the fact that it's low is good.
Right.
Based on these parameters, this is, if I round down, because it's technically like a 4.75. If I round down, it's like a 4.5 out of 5
fins.
Or a 4 out of 5 if we don't even want to do halves.
I want to give it the half. I like this movie.
You want to give it the half? Fine. 4.5 out of 5. Great. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Hey, Brad.
And also, we need to thank the following people for showing up to watch it with us. Those people are, hang on, Nanook, Mom, Auntie Shark, Pennywise. Thank you guys so much for being there with us.
Thank you. We appreciate everything. And Brett, guess what time it is?
Is it time for your segment that you're
It's
desperate
time.
for?
I'm gonna play the music, and it might be some crappy crap, but
Yep.
I made this sound, and I want to play it. Dang it!
Play it.
It's time for the true or false segment. Are you ready?
Just real quick, when you're doing this, like you're playing that sound on your phone, and when you're doing this, literally heard nothing.
Oh, cool. Well, you know.
Next time for your knowledge, hold the speaker of your phone up to the microphone
You
of
want me
your
to redo?
computer.
I can redo it.
Yeah, sure, if you want to, because there was literally nothing coming through on your end because you were literally waving the phone in the air.
Sorry, I'm feeling my sick beat.
Also, we need to get you like a legitimate microphone, like this one right here.
Well, I'm gonna play it. Nothing?
No,
nothing?
I mean, barely heard anything. So, like, when you listen back to this, Jasmine, I want you to listen to that and go, "Oh, wow, that wasn't even worth my time to do." So, either get a good microphone, or don't come step in with shit like that.
Well, it's the truth or dare segment. I have some truth or dare, true or false.
Truth or scare?
I don't have that. I have truth or false.
How about truth or scare?
No.
It's still true or false, but it's truth or it's just a pun.
Okay, well, whatever you want to do, we can do
whatever you want to do. That's your fucking segment. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions. You're gonna tell me whether they're true or false. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I thought of this literally.
Lemonade comes out the front and fudge comes out the back. Let's do it. Go, 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 go.
Okay. Put me on the spot.
You put me on the spot.
All right, Brett. Is chumming and baiting illegal?
No. It depends on the country that you're in, but generally speaking, no, it's not.
That is correct.
And also it depends on where. So like in some places in a country where it's not illegal to chum, doesn't mean you can go out onto a public beach and chum out there.
Are you gonna let me finish?
I was answering the fucking question.
I have more to add.
Go ahead.
It is false because both are legal, but restrictions are placed in order to protect sharks and divers.
Okay, next one.
Next one. Do Mayan ruins exist in underwater caves?
Do what?
Mayan ruins.
Oh, I said they do.
True. In February of 2018, for the National Geographic, the Great Mayan Aquifer Project announced they discovered 2 Yucatan cave systems that have Mayan artifacts inside.
Fantastic.
Okay, Brett.
Okay. How many of these are there?
4.
Okay, all right.
And I told you it's a small segment. You're making me feel bad about my tiny little segment.
No, I was just asking. I think it's great.
Do sharks live in caves? Simple answer, true or false?
False.
That is correct. Specifically, great white sharks from the movie wouldn't be able to survive in caves due to the small amount of food resources that are inside of caves.
Yep.
However, sharks will use cave systems to, hide or find some quick, speedy shelter if needed.
Okay.
And finally, true or false, the blind see-through fish in the cave known as the Mexican tetra is able to scream at people who come near them. True or false?
Okay, well, I want to preface this by saying that when you were a young child, I took you and your sister and your cousin to a state park. Like that was on a beach, and we went fishing, and we got some weird-ass fish when we went fishing that literally croaked at us and barked at us. So fish can vocalize for sure, but not underwater, at least not in the way it was shown in the movie. Like whales and stuff sing underwater. Things echolocate. Things make noise underwater, but they don't go, "Wah!" like that tetra did.
The answer is false.
Which is what I
Because
said.
fish do not have vocal cords or lungs, so they do not have the ability to scream.
But they can, basically like crickets. Crickets can make noise, but they don't have lungs. It's called stridulation. It's when they rub two parts of their body together to make a sound. Fish don't necessarily do that, but they have some kind of mechanism that allows them to go, you know.
Like a frog, maybe?
It's probably like gas escaping or,
like a frog?
Frogs have lungs, Jasmine. What school did you go to?
That's true. But they're
The fuck?
amphibians. They're amphibians.
Yeah. All right, Jasmine.
Well, I'm so glad that my true or false was so great because you knew all the answers, and I thought possibly maybe you might miss one.
Here's what we'll do.
I'm so glad it was informative.
Okay, well, your octave got a little high there, and your mic cut out because your microphone hates you. But here's what we'll do. Why don't we trade off? Like one movie you do the quiz show, and the next movie I'll do the quiz show, and we'll just alternate back and forth. Because the problem with it is I did a quiz for you, and in doing so, I did a lot of research, and now I know all the answers. So if we communicate better, we can avoid this. So
you didn't know the Mayan one until when we started streaming and you looked it up. And I said, don't look it up. I said, don't look it up. I have the answers for you. I have the thing, and you looked it up.
I actually did know that because I saw a documentary on that stuff earlier.
That's then why did you ask?
Because I couldn't remember. But anyway, moving on. It's your turn.
I'm sad.
It's your turn.
Yeah, even.
You ready?
No, I'm sad.
Sit down in the fucking chair.
I was picking up the things that I threw because I was upset.
I don't know why you're upset. It went great.
No, it didn't. But go ahead.
It really did. It was fine. Next movie, you do the quiz, and I won't do anything. That sounds great to me. Jasmine, here we go. This is my Quizzy Izzy for you. Approximately an hour of the movie takes place underwater. How long does a normal scuba tank last?
I was going to look this up, and then I didn't. I was going to use it as the true or false, and then I didn't look it up.
Keep in mind that the movie buys some time by letting them find air pockets at various intervals. So it's not a one-for-one.
I would say maybe 25 minutes.
I'm sorry, Jasmine, that's incorrect. A scuba tank lasts generally 45 minutes-ish. So,
okay.
I would say about an hour of the movie, they're underwater in scuba tanks, and then there's a couple times where they have a reprieve. But I'm willing to bet that if we did the frame-for-frame math on the minutes, it probably equates to about 45 minutes per tank because they did the same thing in the first. That was my concern with the first one. I was like, man, this whole movie's underwater. Like, how do they even have enough oxygen? But they did it, and it works out. Question number 2. Jasmine, I'm going to sing my favorite song that appeared in the movie. Occasionally, I'm going to stop in a pause, and you are going to fill in the blank with some gusto. For every correct answer you get a point. And if you don't know it, I want you to improvise the line so that there's not just some weird, awkward silence for the podcast listeners.
Okay. So you want to make me look dumb.
1, 2, 3, 4. Walking like a man. Hitting like a hammer. She's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter. Tasty like a raindrop. She's got
the American raindrop.
Heavenly bound. Because she's heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color. Her loving is a wild dog.
Her lover is a wild dog that makes her a queen wolf.
She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. What in the world can make a brown-eyed girl turn blue? When everything I'll ever do, I'll do for you. And I go,
oh.
La 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 la, she's got the look. Jasmine failed on all of them. Literally, the correct answer was tasty like a raindrop. She's got the look.
Wait.
Kissing is a color.
American raindrop. Give me 0.5. Give me 0.5.
No. You literally, no, I'm leading you in. So the first lyric is, 1, 2, 3, 4, walking like a man, hitting like a hammer. She's a juvenile scam, never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got, I paused, and you said, like an American raindrop? But no, the literal answer is the look. I said, she's got, and then you were supposed to say the look. You did
I don't
it.
know.
Then the second lyric goes, heavenly bound, because heaven's got a number. And when she's spinning me around, kissing is a color, her loving is a wild dog.
I know I got him wrong.
She's got the look. And then the last bit is, and I go, and then I wanted you to say, la, 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 she's got the look.
Where I said,
You were close. You were close. I was willing to give it to you if you got the cadence down. Like it's, la, 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 but you went, like you didn't quite get it there. Like you didn't quite mimic it, but you were kind. Yeah, I was gonna give it to you if you're close, but you were not close. For bonus points, what is the name of that song and the name of the artist? 1 point each.
Is it She's Got the Look or short The Look by some rocking person?
Some what?
Some rocking person.
I will give you 2 points.
Some rock star.
I will give you 2 points because the song is called The Look and it's by a person named Roxette. So you literally said rockin' person, so it is really close. Good job. Jazmin, what kind of shark is it in the movie?
A great white.
It is they say it's a great white. However, this would be some sort of evolutionary variant that would definitely be its own species, but in the movie they call it a great white. I give you the point for that, even though it's a question that you asked me as well. Or we actually brought it up earlier in the show, I think.
You did. I was trying to avoid these things.
In the movie, there's a tetrafish. Does that sound familiar? In the movie, there's a tetrafish, and the great whites involved have been in caves so long, they've evolved heightened senses and completely lost the use of their eyes. According to a study done by the Arizona State University, how long to lose them eyes? How long would it take, generally speaking, approximately?
It would take multiple.
For them to evolve to the point where they've lost their eyesight entirely.
Like, do you want like a set of years, or can I just say multiple evolutions?
If your multiple evolutions is not a correct answer, because if you're close to the years, I'll give it to you.
2 million or 200 million.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You had it right before you changed it. Why'd you do that?
Did I? 2 million?
You fucking nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. And you changed it to 200 million? Are you serious?
Well, I don't know how long multiple evolutions are.
Well, you think about this, Jazmin. Fish evolve much faster than longer-lived animals, generally speaking, because
give me a point.
Evolution goes based on the generations, like mutations and evolution. Things change through the generations of offspring as it goes on. So naturally speaking, 2 million years of fish life, there's more offspring and they reproduce more often than, say, something that's really long lived. You know what I mean? So over the course of 2 to 3 million years, that is... I had it here and I lost it, man. It would give about 5 million generations of fish. And that is a study on the blind tetrafish that they found in caves. So roughly 2 to 3 million years of evolution. At least
give me half a point for that. Give me half a point.
I don't know. Fine, I'll give you half a point, but only because you got it, even though you changed your answer entirely.
I second-guessed myself. You made me do it.
Almost the entirety of this movie takes place in a cave, as we mentioned before. So what is the deepest cave dive? Because there's a point in this movie where I started to disbelieve it. Mainly when they've been in the cave so long, they got to some point where the water current is 100 miles an hour. And I was like, what? Is this believable? I don't know. So
I tried to look that up, actually. I tried to look up if the currents could be like that.
It wasn't something easily Googleable.
It wasn't. easily.
Absolutely, water currents can be really fast. That's like what a riptide is. But I couldn't really find anything about in caves where it's like
I couldn't
super
either.
fast. Because that
I
thing
even
was
looked up. Is it
fast.
47 meters down uncaged? Is the water current real? Like, could that happen in real life? And I could not find the answer. So if you're a scientist and you know the answer, let us please tell us so we know. I was actually really curious about that.
We should ask Taylor. What is the deepest cave dive, Jazmin? Was the question.
Oh man, they don't really tell you how many meters they go down in the movie.
I'm willing to bet probably 47 meters. Willing to bet.
You think so?
I'm willing to bet. They don't say it in the movie, but I'm just betting. I'm being cheeky. But I'm talking about the deepest cave dive on record in real life is the question, Jazmin.
Water cave or a regular cave?
Keep in mind, 47 meters is roughly like 130-ish feet, which is nothing compared to the record. In feet, depth. The depth of the cave. Underwater cave.
Underwater.
Yes.
In the movie or in general?
In the real life, I just said that. How many times do I gotta say the same fucking thing? What is the deepest cave dive ever recorded?
400 feet.
I'll give you a mulligan. Try again.
More or less.
If you're close, I'll give it to you.
More or less.
Give me one of each.
800 feet.
Okay.
And 300 something for a cave.
Okay.
There's no way it can go up to 1,000 feet under.
I'll give you this. This is really hard because I'm asking for numbers, and numbers can be anything. So I'll do multiple choice. Is it A, 950 feet? Is it B, 1,100 feet? Is it C, 26,000 feet? Or is it D, 1,100,000 feet?
I'm gonna go with in a cave specifically.
Yes.
I would say the 2001.
There was no 2,000 option. C was 26,000.
26,000.
26,000, not 2,600. 26,000.
Yeah, 26,000.
All right.
That's my answer.
I will give you that one. That is the correct answer. Jared Jablonski and his regular dive buddy Casey McKinley set a world record for the longest ever penetration of a cave dive at 26,000 feet or 7,900 meters while exploring the Q Tunnel of Wakala Springs. This record remains the longest penetration in a deep cave.
That sounds scary.
It's terrifying. Jazmin, what's worse, drowning or being eaten alive by a shark?
I think I'm gonna change my answer, Brett.
Just to answer the question. Why is it so hard?
I'm gonna say that eaten by a shark is worse. Also, I was gonna ask you that too. I actually looked up, is it worse, like online, to see if there was like a specific answer. And most people said that drowning was better because it only takes up to like 15 to 16 seconds. However, if you get eaten by a shark, it could be longer than that. So.
Feels good. If anybody on the YouTube channels likes what they see, holla at me on Twitter.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
That's how you dance. For sure. Jazmin, we got to watch the trailer. That's 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Loved it. Fantastic movie. Hopefully we do the first one eventually.
5 out of 5 fins.
Loved it. No, it's 4 out of 5.
But I personally give it 5 out of 5 fins.
No, we're not going to do that. We're a combined essence here. We're the show. The Jawsbreaker official. 4 out of 5. All right.
Jawsbreaker's official. 4 out of 5. You should watch it. It's really good.
Fantastic.
And what are we watching next, Brett?
We're watching The Reef.
The Reef? Or Reef?
The Reef. All right, Jazmin.
Make sure you fix the audio.
I already did it.
Yeah, he did it without me reminding him.
So let me know if you, for whatever reason, you can't hear the audio. Can you see the?
I can.
You can see the screen? Fantastic.
I can.
All right, here we go. So this is The Reef, 2011, I think, or 2012. I don't remember. Here we go. Oh gosh, hold on 1 second. We gotta. Whoa, who put the quality so fucking low? Whoa, 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 son. My
I
friend.
think this full screen, half screen.
Oh
Go
man,
back.
that is not good. Oh man, that is the official trailer. Let's try this one. Fucking roars like a damn lion.
That
Strange. Wow, that's the Reef. Wow, what a good trailer. Though, seriously, you didn't like that?
No.
That
I
that
have a good
stressed
feeling.
me. That stressed me out. Just the idea of being in the water, like just floating in the ocean, stresses me the fuck out.
Doesn't, but like, is that gonna make for a good, like, how long is that movie?
I mean, I
Like,
don't know. That's not my
They're
job.
just gonna be in the open ocean for the whole movie? Like, how is that gonna be good?
I guess we'll see, Jasmine.
And
I mean, Colin Farrell did a whole movie called Phone Booth where he was in a phone booth for the whole movie and it was kind of okay.
Well, I also don't understand, if you crash into a reef, wouldn't you be sort of almost like closer to land that way?
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong did a whole movie called Devil where that took place on an elevator and nowhere else.
That movie's good though. That movie's good.
That's my point. I'm imagining what happened was they hit the reef on the underside of the boat, not really realizing that the extent of the damage. It was in the middle of the water when it took on too much water and capsized is what probably happened.
Maybe.
And so we don't know, but they're probably trying to float to land or swim to land or something.
I actually know some things to do. I watched
No. You save it for the show next week.
Shark Week. I watched it on Shark Week.
I know, but I don't want to get too much in the weeds of stuff related to this movie because this is only supposed to be the trailer and the tease for it. So if you guys want to hear us talk about this movie some more and watch it with us, go to twitch.tv/METEORDOLL. So follow, subscribe to the channel, like and review, rate and review, whatever the fuck. And we will be watching it on February. What?
Go ahead. Never mind.
We will be watching it on February 20th, Saturday, at 7 p.m. Eastern on Jazmin's METEORDOLL channel on Twitch. So that's when it's going to be. That's when we're going to do it. And that's the movie we're going to watch.
And if you want to follow my stuff, I think, hopefully, Bret's been putting all of my stuff down in the description. I don't know, my METEORDOLL Twitch, my YouTube channel.
Nope. You never sent me the link. I don't even know what your YouTube channel is.
METEORDOLL.
We'll talk about it later. It's neither here nor there. I mean,
it'll be in there this time. So
yeah, I mean, mine's not.
The podcast stuff is under Bret's YouTube because of reasons, but we're definitely gonna watch it on my Twitch.
If you like us even a little tiny bit, rate and review the show on your podcast player. But even more important than that, tell a friend if you would. Get the word out about the show. It would help us out a lot and stuff.
For sure. We want to watch this movie with more people. We love the people that currently watch the movies with us almost every single time. Thank you guys for always coming, but we would definitely love to, share the experience, the drama, the action, the thrill.
Mm-hmm. So the only thing else I want to plug is my other show, Pokemon After Dark Ride, No Holds Barred, No Nothing podcast. We're talking about Pokemon Hurt the ones we love. And I also want to plug twitch.tv/breaker streams, and because that's mine. And you should follow mine as well because we alternate whose account we show the movie on.
That's it, guys.
The next one, we're going to be watching The Reef for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, all you lovers out there. It's the perfect movie for that because it's two couples being torn apart by sharks. What's more romantic? And then, after we watch The Reef, like the next movie we show, whatever that is, will be on my channel. So,
which is Ouija Shark.
No, shut up! You don't spoil it. Why you gotta spoil things? Why you gotta do that?
Because it's already on my calendar.
Why are you gonna defy? Why do you have to defy the nature of the show?
It's
Now
on
no one's
my Twitch.
now no one's gonna
it's on
watch
my
the
calendar.
Reef. No one's gonna watch the Reef because they're like, oh, it's not gonna be as good as the last one, so I can just watch the last one and skip the Reef. So good job, Chairman.
Okay, bye.
Smile, you sons of bitches.
Bitches. Could have waited.
Yeah. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1.
Smile, you sons of bitches. We'll get it right eventually.
Bye.